let's discuss the best way to approach these FINRA NASAA exams and many other types of exams that are structured in a similar way. So when you look at these FINRA NASAA exams, whether you're talking about the SIE, the 7, the 63, the 65, the 66, the 24, whatever. So you have a bunch of multiple choice questions. Some don't count, and each one is weighted equally. So that's one common misconception. People think that certain questions are weighted more than others. No, it doesn't matter. So if you look at it very high level, from a 10,000-foot level, the analogy I give for this, it's almost like if you had the objective to score 100 points on in basketball, and let's say you're allowed to take, let's say, 35 layups, 35 free throws, 35 three-pointers, and 35 half-court shots, and you need to do it in a set amount of time. How would you attack that? Now, for most people, the most reasonable way to do it is like, let me score as many layups as I can. Let me shoot the layups first, try to get all 35. Maybe if not 35, at least get 30 or more of those. Then I'll go after the free throws. Maybe I'll get 20 of them, 20, 25. Then I move on to three-pointers, try to get, maybe 15, and then chuck up the half-court shots and see if you get lucky, right? So now, the test is not arranged in a you can't depend on the test arranged in a specific type of way. So a lot of times, some of the exams, they kind of start off kind of hard, and then they get easy in the middle, and they get hard at the end. That's what a lot of people say. But either way, you can't really depend on that. So how do you solve that problem, right? And also, to just draw one more analogy, if you were to go to the gym and you wanted to do some bicep curls, or you wanted to do some leg press, you would start off with a lighter weight to warm up your body, and then you build up to the heavier weight. You're not going to go from light, medium, heavy, medium, light, medium, heavy. You're not going to do it that way, right? It just doesn't make sense. Now, if you do the test in a consecutive fashion and you feel like you have to answer every question first before moving on to the next one, what you're doing is you're making your life more difficult by going from the lightweight to the medium weight to the heavyweight and back to the lightweight. So how do you solve that problem? You solve that problem by skipping the questions that are difficult. And now you can't skip on the FINRA or NASAA exams, but you can mark for review and select a random answer, like an A or a D or whatever. So by doing that, now you can actually answer all the easy questions first, build up that confidence by scoring all these layups, then move on to the medium ones, then move on to the hard ones, then move to the extra hard ones. And you should have built such a massive amount of time on the back end that you should be able to solve the medium questions and not feel like you're under the gun in terms of time. So this is, I think, a very helpful tool and an underestimated tool where you can really take advantage of exams that are structured like this and really get the most of it. Because remember, your objective is to put up as many points on the board as possible. And the best way to do that is go easy, medium, hard. And then on top of that, you can always jump back to the questions marked for review and come back to them later. So in the first round, you're going to go, I used to be kind of a maniac. I used to say 30 seconds or less, and then I'd skip it because I'm a fast reader. For most people, I say about a minute, maybe 45 seconds to a minute. Now, I wouldn't be staring at the clock like a crazy person either. I would just, basically, when you start feeling like, hey, if this question's too long, I'm just going to skip it. So any easy definitional ones, I'll get rid of first. I'll skip the math ones unless they're super easy. Even the easy math ones, sometimes I'll skip. And inevitably, you end up building a lot of time on the back end. And I just think that's a really effective way of attacking this test. And I think it's a game changer, especially for people who end up inevitably struggling for time. So on the first round, I recommend you probably finish 60, 70% of the test. Then you do maybe round 2, you end up doing, let's say, maybe somewhere to 20 to 40% of the test. And then the remainder is like 10 or less percent you would do with, just keep skipping them. So don't spend too much time on one question. You're better off looking at one question 10 times for a minute than looking at one question for 10 minutes. So keep that in mind. Please use the strategy for, any of these exams plus any other test that's basically formatted in a similar way. So hope this helps. Please listen, like, and subscribe for more intel. Thanks.